I was a smooth baby. So feel the rap as smooth as I'm classic. When I was in the womb, you know it, you know it, you know that you've been played. Get out my way. Y'all know the song is Smooth? Get out my way. That was the part where she said, I was something about a baby before the birth of me. My mom something new. I was a smooth baby. Something like that. Y'all know this song, baby? This was back in the 80s before hip hop became gangster rap. Before gangster rap to create crime bill, Mena, Arkansaw'd, Clintons and Black Lives and Antifa and Martin Luther King. It's a whole bunch of stuff on my head today. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully y'all had a great weekend. It's a whole bunch of stuff I got to talk about today. But you need to accept when you've been played. You know it, you know it, you know that you've been played. Get out my way. Get out my way. Something wrong with me. Good morning, y'all. Oh my gosh, I had a great weekend. Did y'all have a great weekend? Man, I had a wonderful splentabulous weekend. Woo! I was in the dirt all weekend. Good morning, everybody. I was known that, well, did you have a good weekend, Gerard? Were you out there protesting? Nope, done did that before. Sorry. I was listening to Smooth and You've Been Played. I was listening to, because we got to talk about people getting played, not accepting that they've been played. Before I was listening to that, I was listening to Bob Marley. Chant down Babylon. You got to chant down Babylon, baby. Chant it down, chant it down, chant it down. You know why? I was listening to Martin Luther King this morning, Vietnam speech. Rwanda was my study this weekend in the garden. I got to tell you about the beginnings of the Rwanda genocide and what that's got to do with what's going on right now. It's all related. It's all related. But keep calm and Mena, Arkansaw'd it all. Because it was like 3 kids in the field. I got to tell you this story. Hold on, wait. Let me get my background because I have to build a world for you. Right now I got a black screen. But that's not the world I want to show you. I need to show you a world. First of all, I'm not sure if I want to be today. What kind of world am I build this for you? I'm going to tell you one thing. Just be careful. Always do the smell test. Always. I'm a big believer in the smell test. Who smelt it, dealt it. I'm a big believer in that. Always do the smell test. You don't need to know what it smells like. You don't need to know that it's John or it's rotten okra or whatever it is. Gasification. Just do the smell test on everything. If it don't smell right, don't sniff it again. You don't have to sniff it twice. It is probably bullshizzle. Walk away. Now, I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like watching all the leaders. Y'all know me and the black leaders. Me and the black leaders, we not on speaking terms. Not at this moment in time. No. I see them soon doing the same stupid stuff they've been doing a long time. I see them doing the same stupid stuff that's not gonna change nothing because they got nice retirements they need to make. They build careers on Black Lives Not Mattering and they don't want them to matter a bit. So I got hit. When you see the people behind Mena, Arkansas, when they flew all the crack cocaine in for all the inner cities from LA to Washington, D.C., when you see the people who did that, who wrote the crime bill also, when you see the people who did the largest sting operation for the brown people and poor whites the history of America's ever seen. And no, it's not. I'm not gonna stop there because it got Colombia involved, the Hispanics, everybody got roped, and they created the massive prison industrial complex. When you see the people that made sure that poor white lives, poor black lives, poor yellow lives, nobody's life matters, cheering Black Lives Matter, you should know what's up. That's all I'm gonna say. You should know what's up. If it does not pass the smell test, something funky, somebody peed in the Kool-Aid, somebody ate okra a little too late at night, and the gasifications is coming out. All right, you just think about it. If they're the ones who made Black Lives Not Matter, seeing how y'all really love that term, that phrase, when you see the people who actually made Black Lives Not Matter, along with all the other lives, then you know somebody peed in the Kool-Aid. That's all I'm gonna say. You know somebody peed in the Kool-Aid. Keep calm. And Mena, Arkansas, the kids saw it all. They were out there, saw the airport, saw the airplanes flying the drugs in, and then they killed those kids. They killed those kids, right? And that's how we found out. And then the cop in LA explained to you that the CIA was bringing in the drugs, causing all the problems in the community. So one side is scared of all the young people with the drugs, and the other side, we need the crime bill. And meanwhile, poor people just like, well, what are we supposed to do to eat? Right? How are we going to survive if we don't like grow food, medication, and sell it? Which is what drugs are. Keep calm in Mena, Arkansas. You were set up. You were played. Please stop being played. Ain't nothing wrong with getting played. I've been played many times in my life. Many times. Usually it's by booty and some high heels and some tight jeans and like a sweet voice. I've been played many a time I've been played. Pretty eyes. Everybody gets played, but you the fool if you're the one to stop and say, you know what, I'm not being played right now, and still keep getting played. Okay? When you realize that person is there to abuse you, that's when you say, okay, I realize now that you've made an industry of Black lives not mattering, and you hold that industry up on getting one side to attack Donald Trump who had nothing to do with the conversation or the situation, cheering the people that didn't make Black lives not matter, and it holds up the whole table. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I'm not saying like Trump. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like him or dislike him. What I'm saying is they can get you all. And if you don't go to this party with the right and the left together, they're gonna get all of you. Every last one of y'all they're gonna take y'all, wrap y'all up into a bucket and throw you out there in Yemen somewhere. I'm just trying to tell you, you need the right. But the reason that they make this work is they make you abused. Remember my first video on leave my white people alone? Remember that video? I said leave my white people alone. I didn't do a video on that. It's just a post. I said leave them alone, leave them alone. Why? Why do you care if somebody believes in mermaids? Why do you care if somebody believes in Donald Trump? Why do you care if somebody believes in Q? Why does anybody care if you believe in Barack Obama? Why does anybody believe in you if you believe in Biden, and Biden's the one who wrote the crime bill to make the Black Lives Not Matter, that handed to Clinton to pass it, and the Republicans ain't do nothing to stop it? Why do you care what people believe in? They give that to you as an emotional reason to piss off the people that you need. The people who want the land too. The people who want the water too. The people who want the resources too. The people who want the things, the people that you're actually fighting too. It's called a natural ally. When your leader gets you to attack Donald Trump, then you know that, okay, here's another example. And it's not a defense of Trump. Like I said, I'm Trump agnostic. I'm president agnostic. I'm United States corporation agnostic. I'm an American citizen, and very soon I'm going to become one again. I was one at birth, and my mama said, no, you're not going to be an American citizen. We're going to make you a commodity for the United States Incorporated. I got friends getting out of that system, and I'm learning how to do it too. And once I do that, I'm going to go to the American Republic government, not the United States Incorporated. But you see what I'm saying? You are not going to take on the people that have a monopoly on violence. They don't care if you protest. They don't care. You get violent, they're going to get all of you. But if you go along with the right, now you might be saying something. See, now I think if the right and the left got together, you might actually be saying something. But until then, you waste time. It's like this. Please do not, and nobody, don't send me that damn flyer again. Okay. I am not going to boycott white business. I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. I ain't going to do it next week. The people ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. They absolutely have nothing to do with the resources that you want. They have nothing to do with this conversation. It's like my example this morning. It's like blaming white businesses. We need to spend in Black business. No, don't do that. You need to spend local. Spend local, build a community, build up strong. Stop listening to the leaders that are lying to you. You need to build a strong community, whether it's black, white, blue, green, yellow. We need to get away from this money and this banking system. These are the people who actually did this to you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to boycott white business. White business, that's like being bit by the dog and kicking the cat. How does that make any difference? Like you walk in, well, actually, it kind of sort of makes, because cats are dangerous. There's some dangerous little mofos, but I don't want to do that. You walk in the house and a dog bites you, don't kick the cat. That doesn't make no damn sense. All right, let me get started. Good morning, everybody. Y'all have a good weekend. A lot of stuff I want to talk about. Oh, I want to talk about Martin Luther the King. Martin Luther the King. Because anytime this stuff happens, they always want to get back to quoting a brother, and they have no idea what he was talking about. Zero. All right, so in terms of creating my world, ooh, somebody said Hillary got a trial coming up. Did y'all hear about the trial? I hope not. I hope not.
What you mean you help me? Hillary ain't got no trial coming up. She's human trafficking. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't want to wear the MAGA hat. That's why. I told my friends, I said, you know what? If they actually arrest Hillary Clinton, I'll wear a MAGA hat. I'll wear it. I won't believe it, but I'll wear it just so y'all can clown me. I'll do it. Just because I don't believe it. I think all these people work together. That's my sniff test. I look at all I need to put this up here. My sniff test, and when I look at all of this, I see Democrats and Republicans holding hands, skipping down the road, doing the same damn thing to you that they did in Rwanda, all right? I don't want to wear no MAGA drawers. I don't want to do that. That's an ugly picture I don't nobody want to see. That's what I promised my friends on the right. Yes, if you knew I got friends on the right and the left, I'm not involved in your ignorant games. I'm not involved in your ignorant survival hunger games. I have no interest. I want to look around the world, see how the world actually works, and affect change in my life and anybody else who's listening in life who actually want to change things. I'm not on the left nor the right, nor do I play cuckoo flu season. I'm not involved in any of your reality TV shows. I kind of think this might be the last episode of Human, so I want to enjoy it. All right, I got all that. Good morning, everybody. Morning. All right, we got Hillary Clinton. No, somebody says she got a trial coming up. Somebody said I'm on the left side on this one. I can't see me with a MAGA hat on. I can't see it. Like I said, I'm just agnostic. Whew. I got all that out. If you didn't join in the beginning, the song of the day is Smooth. You've been played. Please accept that you've been played when you've been played. I need to play a speech from Martin Luther King while I bring in the rest of the people from YouTube. YouTube like, you being YouTube racist. Don't worry about it. Everybody racist. It's just how this world works. Listen to this. Let this man explain it to you.
The time has come for America to hear the truth.
Truth.
About this tragic war.
All the war.
Now, I've chosen to preach about the war in Vietnam today because I agree with Dante that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in a period of moral crisis, maintain their neutrality.
Their neutrality. They maintain their apathy. They maintain their indifference, and they don't give two damns about poor white people. All right, you see what I'm saying? You see how that played out? Because people listen to the speech and they're like, yeah, you're neutral. Get out here and fight with us. And I'm just like, no, that's not what he was talking about. He was actually talking about the Vietnam War, okay? He was talking about the wars. That's the whole speech. That's why if you look at the speech and read the speech, it says, why I am opposed to the war in Vietnam. Let me ask y'all a question. If Martin Luther King, if he was still around, if he survived like your black leaders, can I call them bleeders? I think we'll call them bleeders for now. Because I don't believe in leaders, y'all. I don't have no leaders. I'm not a slave. Don't nobody lead me. I say exactly what the hell I want. My mama told me, like Smooth said early on in the song, she knew from the womb. You know, my mama used to tell me all the time. She still tells me. She ain't stopped. She still tells me. That's my mama. She said, you hard-headed. I said, I know, Mama, I'm hard-headed. I know. No, my teachers used to say, you hard-headed. Yeah, I know. I am hard-headed. I'm hard-headed because I don't believe in following none of y'all monkeys. I think something wrong with all of y'all. I love y'all to death, but I think this is a Truman Show, and I think it's all a test for me. I don't think Christine is real. I'm not sure Brett Carey's real, or Sandra, or Riley, or Michael Mendoza. I think I'm here, and it's a test. It's a test whether or not I will do what Martin Luther King said, which is stick to my morals instead of picking and choosing, picking selective morals, right? We're going to pick and choose who we say. See, there's a reason why Jesse Jackson made it through that apocalypse when Martin Luther King got killed. There's a reason why Al Sharpton made it through that. There's a reason why all these dudes make it through that. Why? Well, Martin Luther King's going to explain to you. He didn't want to go to the hottest place in hell. He didn't want to be neutral about poor white kids. He didn't want to be neutral about the war in Vietnam. What would Martin Luther King say? What would he say if he were alive today? What would he be doing? Let me ask you that. What would Martin be saying, and what would he be doing? And that's how you know whether or not you quoting this man is something that we need to listen to, or we just need to call you fakes and phonies. See, I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think this is spiritual warfare. I think this is a fight between the light and the darkness. Oh, you fakes and phonies. Hang on. See, shut up. I have to go to YouTube to get my thing. I think it's a fight between the light and the dark. And I think the dark got flashlights, and I think they pretend that they're the light. And I think they got that little selective light, like, ooh,
let's look at the brown people only. The brown people's lives matter.
And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested because I know if Martin Luther King was alive right now, he'd be telling you about your war in Yemen, Syria, the Middle East, all over Africa, Latin America, Iraq, Iran, and what you're trying to do with Russia and China. He'd tell you about all the little poor kids in all those countries, right? And so to me, it's apathy. Is it if you know, but we need to talk about the brown lives right now. The whole world is standing up. No, that's what the TV makes you believe. I don't think the whole world is standing up. I don't think the whole world is that stupid. I think you are. I think that TV is good at what it does. This world is being destroyed by your country. I'm not interested in American privilege. I have no interest in your privilege because you serve in a dark energy. Right? How many kids a day do we kill in Yemen? How many did we genocide in Yemen? How many buses full of people did we blow up in buildings did we drop on light brown skin all over Yemen so we can worry about you and your own little problems? No, I'm not. You got smartphones and apps and video games and nah. I love y'all to death. And it's not a thing of picking and choosing. So for me, it's just across the board. Like, do you care or don't you care? Do you care or don't you care? Don't tell me you care-ish. You tell me that you care-ish, you will not see me at the protest. You will not see me at your little Black Panther party. You won't see me at anything that you do because I know you're faking it. I know you're lying. I know that you aren't fighting at what Rebecca just said. You're not fighting the principle. You're not fighting for lives to matter. You're fighting for what you want to matter. It's not even George Floyd's life. George Floyd, if he's dead, he's dead. He's gone. His life didn't matter, right? The police state you supported, you backed up with Biden and Clinton, and Trump didn't do no different. He ain't do no different with Obama and everybody else that built this massive police state. For whoever owns this country, you was a part of it. You was a part of it. I guess that's my thing. It's just, I'm not interested. Let me know when you actually give a damn. When you actually give a damn, then more just giving a damn what you can get out of it. See, I see a lot of disaster capitalism. That's all I see. There we go. We got YouTube. I just see disaster capitalism. You killing anybody anywhere, I got a problem with you. I'm not gonna go march because I know if Martin Luther King, who is one of my teachers, if he were alive today, he wouldn't be down there marching with y'all. He would not have a sign that says Black Lives Matter. I know he wouldn't. He'd be down there the one screaming all lives matter. Yemen lives matter. Everybody else's lives matter. He'd be the one saying we need to take back the land. I think he has solutions, and I think you are just full of a lot of solutions. Solutions for fools. Solutions, right? The people you're following are fools. They're the people who are behind Mena, Arkansas, bringing the crack in and setting up the biggest sting operation on the planet to take all your bodies and throw them into prisons. And the ones that didn't want to go fought back. And so what did police do? They did what they were ordered to do. Shot people dead in the street. Drag these kids in. Either you want to change or you don't want to change. And I'm not interested in marching with nobody that doesn't want to change. I've done that. I did that. I did fake change before. I did fange. I'm not going to do fange again. I'm on to paradigm shift now. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Woo, what was I researching this weekend? It was great. The Rwandan genocide. Then I'm going to do comments. The Rwandan genocide. Did you know that the colonization consciousness has been doing the same thing, this dark energy in all of these countries from America to everywhere else? So what happened in Rwanda? Because I never got the full story on the genocide. And I was listening to a brother talk from, who interviewed him? Ken Cousins, did y'all see that? I posted that. Ken Cousins, he's the one who's telling you if you actually want real change, you got to stop being a commodity for the United States Incorporated and you need to become a citizen of the American Republic. Ken Cousins, we watched a great talk from him this weekend. That's what you want to do. You want real change? You want, all right, let's say, okay, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna try, because I'll try to hit on all sides. I'm gonna try to help you out. Okay. Yes, I am sniffling. It's not the cuckoo flu. It's my flu season, but that's okay. They'll probably come, the Nazis to come get me soon and drag me off. He got the cuckoo flu. I'm pretty sure that I do. He was sniffling. Yeah, I'm supposed to get the flu every year. I'm not playing flu season, destroy the economy, collapse the world. I'm watching that reality show. I'm not engaging in it. Rwandan genocide. So Belgium needed to control Rwanda. right? But the problem with Rwanda was that Rwanda was made up of 3 tribes. And they all got along together. They didn't, they weren't like prideful. They were like, yeah, y'all in that group, we in that group. Because Rwanda actually does not exist. Remember I tell y'all Africa doesn't exist? America does not exist. Black people don't exist. White people, everybody want to be on a team. They need to carry these ID cards for some stupid reason that I will not, ignorant reason that I won't fathom. Like I said, I'm hard-headed. Your slave, it's hard for you to beat your slavery into my head. So what they did with these 3 groups, Belgium, because they need to control Rwanda to get the resources, the rubber and everything, is they knew they needed to break them up. So I believe it was 1933. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. 1933. The Belgians said, okay, we're gonna give you ID cards and make you proud of your tribe. And so they gave them all ID cards, right? And whatever, some things that transpired, and it gave them pride in their group. I don't know, black friend, white friend, young friend, Christian friend. I gotta cover up my voice because you say it too loud, like, that's hate speech. No, I'm saying that if you are in a group, you're not gonna have pride without hate. The 2 walk together, they hold hands directly or indirectly. If you are proud of something, hate's coming right along with that. That's the real world. Now, in the fake world, yes, you can be proud of your identity and you can ignore what it affects and what it does and everybody else in the real world. But the reality is, if you are proud of what you aren't, because that's not what you are, you're a self, you haven't found yourself yet. If you are proud of how you are grouped by a group like Belgium, then as somebody else is going to hate that because they're not in your group. That's how that works. They're not in your clique. So yeah, pride and hate walk together. But what they did is they broke them up. They developed pride in tribes that all got along, worked well together. And then one of the tribes had to move more people back into Rwanda. And when that happened, they didn't have enough resources because Belgium stole all the resources. With the same things happened in America with the central banks and the Federal Reserve and the things that we're trying to tell you. Like Brother Al-Bashir tell you that America's not, United States corporation done but a looting operation. It's a looting corporation for looting your country. And so they looted it. They looted Rwanda and the people came back and the Rwanda genocide was based on that. And so it was I want to say 60 something. When was the Rwanda genocide? And the king said, yeah, we're going to get together, unity. I know what these Belgian fools is up to. I get this Federal Reserve. I know what they're up to. We're going to get together. We're going to get rid of these ID cards and stop being divisive. We never were this way. And guess what they did to that king? Like they did to the Martin Luther King. They killed him. They killed him. Guess what they did to what's the young brother's name in Chicago? I keep forgetting his name. Fred Hampton. As soon as he said unity, they killed him. As soon as Malcolm X said unity, they killed him. As long as they're out there screaming Black Lives Matter, black, white, then they love you to death. You're supporting the system. You are feeding into the Hillary Clintons and the Donald Trumps and the Bidens and everybody said that you don't support. You are feeding into the system that they're going to retire great on. All right. So the Rwanda genocide was based on that. And I see that with colonization all over this world. I just see with this whole divide and conquer, just endlessly. If you are out in the street yelling, I hate to tell you this. No, actually, I don't even hate to tell you this. You are the problem. If you're out there in the street yelling about black lives or white lives or anybody's life, you're being played the same way that people in Rwanda were, and you might end up in a genocide. And by us, I mean you, not me, because I ain't in no sides of your little ignorant fight. I'm not in any sides of it. The people need land, they need water, they need freedom. That's it. Keep your message simple. Don't be selective about your principles, and we're good to go. We actually can develop. If you actually know the problem, you can come up with a solution. If you don't know the problem, then you just make a noise. I'm still fighting with a good brother of mine. Well, not technically fighting. I don't fight. I'm watching the show. I'm watching the show, and I'm just trying to feed information. He doesn't want to read the laws, does not want to look at the Federal Reserve Act, does not want to look at the Washington, D.C. Act. He thinks he has a government. He keeps going back and forth. And so I'm not in the fight. I just try to feed information. Say, keep calm, realize you don't actually have a government. You don't actually have one. I know, it would be nice to have one, but you don't have one. As long as you don't have one, you have no say and you're being ruled, which means none of your lives matter. The people who say all lives matter are correct. And the people who say Black Lives Matter are correct. And the people who say white lives matter are correct. And the people who say blue lives matter are correct. But individually, they all wrong. They all, every last one of them, they just wrong as hell. You don't have a government. You don't have a government. So you want a real solution, become an American citizen. That's a real solution. Ken Cousins, he's got real solutions. But the people with real solutions like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the N and JFK, you standing for the American people, you get killed. And that's why I don't want to wear a MAGA hat. That's why I don't want to wear none. I don't want to wear that thing. I don't want to wear that joker. I don't look good in red. Besides the fact, if you are a president and you're actually taking on the people who own America, through the United States Incorporated, if you're actually fighting with them, they like to kill you. That's their MO. If you're actually fighting them, they kill you. You actually figure it out, they kill you. You pick a team, you're good to go. See what I'm saying? Politicians' lives don't matter. No, they don't, Jack. They don't matter neither. They don't even care. Oh, they take them out. Didn't they take out JFK? You standing for the American people, they kill you. We are a slave colony. I spent time this weekend, Jack. Oh, you were there. You were there. We were watching Ken Cousins, and I've been meaning to do more of his lectures, and so I was like really digging in deep. Oh, that brother goes deep. Oh my goodness. If y'all have no idea who Ken Cousins are and you want to change your world, you need to know who this man is. You need to know some of what he knows. He went back to the first corporation. There's only one corporation in the world. He found the laws and the scripts and the documents. And through that one corporation, there are three different, parts or sections or entities: the Vatican, the United States Incorporated, and the British something. Oh man, it was ridiculous. The Crown Corporation, that's what it's called, the Crown. And then he explained the bar. Why is it called the bar? Well, when you go the Bar Association, somebody post, what is the acronym for bar? Because they got to take the bar. The lawyers write the laws. Remember I tell you, you don't have to worry about fighting the police because actually the politicians are the ones who write the laws, that you're wasting your time, that you're biting a newspaper, but a mailman actually threw that newspaper in your yard. The bar. The people who dictate who gets to own what, who has to go to prison, who gets to free, what corporations can actually do what they can and can't do. The Bar Association. The B in the Bar Association, the rest I don't know what it stands for. It starts for British. Somebody had posted, but he goes deep, Jack. He took it to the bottom of the ocean. Then he linked it to the Rwanda genocide. And I posted the link, but it's only for people who are passionate, brother. You know what I mean? Like, it's only for people who actually want to change things. Most people don't want to change things. They don't want to end the plantation. They just want to hold the whip. And so I'm not going to get out there cheering with y'all because y'all want to whip white people. You need to go find the other. You know what? I got to say something else. I tried to post a video this week and it did not happen. I got to say something else about this slavery that y'all abusing people with. I got to tell you something, and it might shock you just a little bit. So you hold on to your bar knuckles and your nut bunkles, whatever those are. I have no idea. I had family from Arkansas. People in the South say some weird stuff. In my 20s. In my 20s, I was a manager. I was actually a manager in corporate America in my 20s. I excelled. Why did I excel? Oh, because you're smart, Gerard. No, because I had a mommy and a daddy and a lot of mommy-daddy privilege. We escaped the whole ghetto scam that the government did to take resources from certain areas and put them in other areas. Yeah, look that up. I escaped that. And so I luckily stole some of the white folk privilege, which is why I don't talk about white privilege, because I stole some of the privilege. All different types of privileges. And so I was a manager in my 20s. I was taught to excel. I was given the struggle of my era was to go to school, get grades, study, learn how to program, become a good problem analysis in the corporate America. I worked for some of the biggest corporations on this planet in my 20s. Service delivery manager. And then I walked away. But that's another whole discussion. Why did I walk away? Because I owned so many slaves, and I realized that, you know what, this probably wasn't a good idea. I realized I was working for the bad guys. I was serving the dark energy. I need to do something decent with my life, not working for big corporations. But I gotta say this. This was my struggle of my day. This was the era of my day. It's what I was handed. And I did my best to excel at it. I said that to say this: if I were born in 1652 or whenever it was, and my mom and my daddy gave me my privilege and told me you need to go out there and own you a slave plantation because that's how you make the money, I'm shocked you, but guess what I would do? I'm gonna be honest with you. I came from slaves and slave owners. In fact, not only that, my granddaddy in Arkansas, one of our cousins who actually owned our family, the Lockhart family down there in Arkansas, approached him and said, you know, Skates, I got to tell you this, but I'm your cousin and my family used to own your family. And I forgot the details of everything else my mama done told me, but the point was they healed and they made up. So my family, they came from slave owners and they were slaves. But I will tell you this, if I were born in a privileged family back then, I'd have been a slave owner in my 20s. I would have. I'm tired. Look, I'm going to tell you the truth, because listen, your parents don't lie to you. And they tell you this is what you're supposed to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'd have owned a bunch of monkeys. I'm going to tell you, I'd have owned a slave plantation with Irish people, black people, some Chinese people. I'd have put everybody on it. I would have excelled and exceeded at it until I discovered self. Until I realized that something was wrong, right? That's the only reason I walked away, is I realized that I'm working for the bad guy. This isn't right. When you start to discover self, like this is why I don't blame young people. I don't blame young people for what they do, because young people are still trying to figure it out and find it out. Once you realize that you've been indoctrinated, you've been given a false sense of self, but then you just start discovering that self and you realize this isn't me. I'm not supposed to be telling people what to do. I was telling people with PhDs what to do. I was running shop. I was a slave owner. I was light on the whip, but I still had a whip because I was a manager. It's just the modern slavery of the day and the slavery back then. Whatever struggle you're given, you're going to excel at it until you realize you're a part of the problem, right? If I were a slave back then, I tell you this, slavery is a choice. This is once again where Kanye West was right. I would excel at it. I'd have slit my master's throat. I'd have slit his throat. I'd have beat him with a chain. I'd have run him over with the cotton gin. Do cotton gins got wheels? I don't even know about slavery back then. But I'd have run him over. I'd have ran him over. I would not go back to university over and over to get better and better trained at the cotton gin to enslave more people. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see like the relationship between modern slavery and slavery back then? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We're all born in a certain spot. We're told that we are this avatar. We go off in life and we start to fight from that perspective. We excel until you start discovering self. And when you start discovering self, you get to see things you can't unsee. You know, so if I were back then, this is why I don't shame nobody who came from slave owners. I came from slave owners, damn it. And they did what they're supposed to do. If I was back then, I'd do what I was supposed to do too. You don't shame nobody today. Well, your people are my people. Please keep quiet. Let the adults talk a little bit. There are people who actually want to change things. People are actually dying. Kids are actually dying in the streets. At what point in time do you stop making about skin disaster capitalism? Probably around the time Wall Street started making about Wall Street disaster capitalism. Democrats stopped making about Democrat disaster capitalism. Taking a real disasters, real people dying, real police state that needs to be completely dismantled, and making profit with it. Drama, emotion, racism, all that little nonsense that y'all like to talk about. Find some passion in your heart. Fight from a principled perspective. Otherwise, we're going to end up in today. Is that Ty we were on the post the other day? Because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Oh, Ty, I got to tell you this. Oh, you know what's coming. That post where they had the robotic police, they had that robot dog that they use in Boston and the other robot. And I'm just sitting back here and watching. I'm like, listen, if you don't fight things at the principle level, baby, you got something that's coming for you. You may not like, right? Because if you have an issue with the police, but you don't have an issue with the laws, and then the rightful solution is RoboCop, we got a problem. Oh, we got a problem. See, here's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't actually know the problem, it's a good idea to remain quiet and keep drilling down till you see the problem, because then the solution isn't actually going to fit the problem. The solution is going to be, okay, well, we need perfect cops. Cops need training. Like y'all people tell me all the time. Like, oh, we got the cops need training. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I will not be boycotting white businesses, and I will not say that the cops need training. That is not the problem. That's a side effect. That's somebody's trying to make money off of your ignorance, okay? If the law, nothing wrong with the laws, you just need better trained cops. What's the perfect cop? RoboCop. What's the perfect cop? Drones. boy, you're gonna land us in a whole lot of trouble. You're gonna get us all killed. That's why it's my hashtag. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. Because if you don't figure out who's playing you, we all gonna die. So yeah, nah, I'm not into RoboCop. But listen to Martin Luther King. So the darkest place in hell is reserved for the people who only fighting for the brown people, the people that's neutral about the poor whites, and the poor whites is neutral about the poor blacks. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes both ways. And all the Americans is neutral about Yemen. Every last one of them. All of them that got these nice cars and laptops and everything that came from the minerals and the oil from that land and the people that they genociding. Yeah, that's why I know the world don't care. You don't see nobody in Africa standing up for black people in America, do you? No, they know. They know a sellout when they see it. I'm sorry. I'm just not here to play with y'all. My skin is too dark to sit here and play games. I've been abused by all the monkeys. Okay? In America, I've been abused by all the monkeys. I need y'all to hear the rest of this. Hang on, 5 minutes. Give me a couple more minutes.
There comes a time.
If anybody answered the question, if Martin Luther King were alive today, would he be out there with you acting like a fool in the street, cheering on Black Lives Matter, working with the leaders who all stood aside and helped the state kill him? Would he be out there with them? No, he ain't that stupid. Would he be out? All right.
Time when silence is betrayal.
Betrayal.
Truth of these words is beyond doubt. But the mission to which they call us is the most difficult one.
Oh, it's difficult.
Even when pressed by the demands of inner truth, men do not easily assume the task of opposing their government's policy.
No, they don't. No, baby. It's easier to assault Donald Trump. It's easier to betray the right. Why? Because the right does not have, they're not asking for your votes. That's why I just want to watch the show, yo. I just watch the show. I don't engage. I'm just watching every episode, and I try to enjoy the show best that I can. Because y'all crazy. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all trying to betray poor whites, trying to block their businesses. They got little kids that need sneakers and tennis shoes and all that stuff too. And you want me to protest them? No, thank you. If the dog bit me, I will not be kicking the cat, nor the squirrel, nor the guinea pig. The dog bit me, all right? Those are banks and they own the resources, all right? Let's let him finish up. Just stop betraying. Because it's funny. Like, this is what I'm saying. I tell people all the time. Martin Luther King is your cousin. It doesn't matter your skin color. This man, in the end, he spoke for everybody. He figured it out. He saw through the matrix. He saw the code. This is your cousin. You don't have to oppose people with brown skin that are clueless. Not all of them are. It's just, unfortunately, I think it's the majority. All you got to do is post some of these speeches and say, no, I think you need to listen to minute 2 and 32 seconds because I don't think that you live in the dream. I think that he was killed because he had a dream. I think his dream included my white skin, my yellow skin, my purple skin, and your brown skin, the Vietnamese skin, and the Yemeni skin. And I think what you're doing right now is you are fighting the dream. You are opposing the dream because you are standing next to the people who are in opposition with the dream, been in opposition with the dream, and helped Hoover and Johnson and the rest of them kill him. All right? This is what I'm saying. History will bless you, but you got to know it. Stop just going along with platitudes because people in Rome say them. All right? Listen to this, man. I just want to do a few minutes real quick.
Especially in time of war. Nor does the human spirit move without great difficulty against all the apathy of conformist thought within one's own bosom.
Apathy of conformance in times of war. And this was a time of one war. We're not even in that day. This isn't in the time where they had, like, well, technically back then it wasn't one war. There were probably about 10, maybe 10, because you had all the people they were killing all over Africa before Obama put in AFRICOM to kill all them and steal their resources. But in Latin America, they were doing, this is the one where they were putting the kids in the helicopters and kicking them out the helicopter to stop them from protesting so they wouldn't have a government that represents their people. Yeah, they had about maybe 10 wars, quiet wars back then. Now, how many wars we got? Oh, we probably got 30, 40, 50. Nobody has any idea. On every continent on this planet, we are blowing people up. so you can argue because you want more money and more things for blowing people up. Like, let me tell you this about Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and you need to read the book if you hadn't read it. The guy got upset with me. Good brother, man, I love him to death, but he's just like, you told me I don't read. Now, I'm not saying that you don't read, and I'm all kind of a-holes and all this stuff. No, I'm not saying that you don't read, brother. I'm trying to say that you don't read the right things. You are reading USA Today and what's that? The New York Times and Washington Post. You're reading the what do they call them things? You're reading the line papers. What are them things where the alien had my baby and the ear grew and the Loch Ness? And I'm not saying those things ain't real. I'm just saying they don't make any damn sense to me at this moment in time. All right. The tabloids, that's what it is. The mainstream media is just tabloids now. So I'm saying you need to read the right thing. Well, Economic Hitman told the story of the blood diamonds, the blood minerals. We know, it's the blood diamonds, and that jumped over to the blood something else, and then the blood minerals, and then the blood, okay, I get it now. We steal everybody's resource by dividing them up and making them stupid. I got that, okay. Yeah, same thing they're doing to us right now. Well, I think blood minerals was a cover-up. I think it was obfuscation. How you spell that? Obfuscation? I can't even spell it. But I can say obfuscation. I think it was a cover-up. I think blood minerals is a cover-up for blood currency. That's what I think. I think if they could give you something like how we say Epstein Island, they gave you one island and one guy, and it's hundreds of islands and hundreds of guys doing parties for these criminal elite, doing all these things, abusing women and children. There's a whole bunch of islands out there. They just give you one because it makes you think that, oh, we're the good guys. You're not the good guys. Nope, not at all. Not even close, not even an ish. You are the bad guys. We are the dark ones. We are dark energy. They always serve one up. And I think that's what the blood diamonds and minerals were like. Oh, we need to stop with blood oil. And you had blood, now you got blood. What's the one in where they're trying to steal Rob Morales? Blood lithium? And it's like, no, maybe it's just blood currency. Maybe when you put currency, something between human beings and survival, they stay in survival mode. They never thrive. They're always fighting to survive, so they never become what they should become. That goodness and pleasant stuff never comes out of them because they're constantly trying to survive. And this is why Christ overturned the table. It's not a religious thing. It's just a story and explaining to you the most horrible, horrendous thing of these money changers, right? The money changers. And we built a whole world empowering them. Until you understand what money is, it's a spiritual thing. There's something dark about it. It represents human labor. Why? Because if they can put they can put something between you and life, they can get you to do anything they want. Money is slavery. As long as you got money, you will always have slavery. So anyway, let's keep it. So once again, if you don't know the problem, please don't mention the solution, because usually you're just given a side effect by somebody that already works for Rome. You need to be an individual. All right, I know I'm running my mouth for a second here, but you need to discover yourself. I had no sense of self. Right? I had my dashiki, I had my African medallion, I had my Malcolm X shorts. I was in college and I had no damn clue. Until I finally found myself, and I realized that I don't get to be free until I'm for everybody else's freedom. When you are for everybody else's freedom, freedom is possibly an option. Possibly. But if you're only for your own freedom or your own self, you're selfish, you're ignorant, you're only for your own group, your own nation, you will always be enslaved. And that's why I love the model of this world, this simulation of a creation or whatever it is that we either all work together or we all die. So, all right, let them finish it up.
There has never been such a monumental descent during a war by the American people. Polls reveal that almost 15 million Americans explicitly oppose the war in Vietnam. Additional millions cannot bring themselves around to support it. This reveals that millions have chosen to move beyond the prophesying of smooth patriotism to the high grounds of firm dissent based upon the mandates of conscience and the reading of history.
No conscience.
Now, of course, one of the difficulties in speaking out today grows out of the fact There are those who are seeking to equate dissent with disloyalty. It's a dark day in our nation
Darker now.
when high-level authorities will seek to use every method
Ever.
to silence dissent. Something is happening and people are not going to be silent.
To silence the dissent of the people, like telling people they can't speak because they got a certain skin color. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. See, that's why I'm saying that sometimes if you aren't careful, you will take on the energy of what you oppose. You will take on the methodology and the tools of the colonizers. Telling people they can't speak because they got a certain skin color. And all groups do it because that dark energy is in all groups. That's how darkness fights. It's a spiritual war. You know, he's talking about patriotism, ignoring the war for patriotism, ignoring the Vietnam War for patriotism. Like, yeah, he's talking about nations. No, think about it from a principle perspective. How about patriotism to your race? How about patriotism to your religion? This is not patriotism to your nation. No, I have no interest in getting out there marching with nobody on the street. A lot of my friends out there marching, love them to death. That's where their spirit is. It's not where my spirit is at. Until you love everybody equally, I know you're faking the funk. And I have no interest, I have no time for faking the funk. I have no time for faking the funk. Until you realize that it's going to take everybody to bring down this massive corporation that's pretending to be a government, till you realize that you need to write, I have no time for it. Y'all out there spray painting Donald Trump on this and F Trump and everything. It means that you have no clue how your world works. It means you believe the people who are oppressing you, and you are fulfilling their narrative by trying to silence people who you need. And oh, you need them. You need them. Do not let it mistake. Don't let it confuse you that they have not responded to you. What do they call Donald Trump? They call him Bunker Boy. Yeah, I know, it's a little giggly. It's a little giggly. It ain't that funny. It's a little giggly. It ain't that funny. If they bring out the force of the United States military, and they can, and they might, and if they do, you ain't opposing that. You ain't opposing that. You know what? If you had the entire left and the entire right, you still probably would lose. All right? It's a possibility. This is why I'm not into revolution. I'm not into a violent revolution because I know you're going to lose. Damn it, they got robots. Come on, stop it. They got death energy weapons. We're going to get out there and fight. And all of a sudden, you know, somebody your neighbor calls you. Yeah, man, I saw a laser and came out the sky. It just burned up your whole house. Your whole house. Yep, your mama was in there, your grandmama, everybody, the whole thing. Ain't nothing left. It's a hole in the ground. Please, what's that thing called? The rod of God? Are you kidding me? They're throwing bolts. They can take a bolt from space, literally, a bolt. And Dr. King talked about this too. Said you spend $5,000 per person in Vietnam to kill, but you can't spend $50 for a per poor person in your nation, something like that. I know I messed. They take a bolt, a bolt from space. It's just a piece of hunk of metal, and they just drop it. And by the time it hits your house, it blows up your whole neighborhood. You're not fighting them. You're not scaring them. You're not bothering them. You're not ruining their day. You're not, none of that. These people have a monopoly on violence because we all gave it to them. All of us, including me, and my ignorance before I started discovering self. We gave them the ability and a monopoly on violence to murder everybody on this planet at any time they choose. And if it's a spiritual warfare, they might choose. They might choose. They might choose. All right, let a few more minutes.
The truth must be told. And I say that those who are seeking to make it appear that anyone who opposes the war in Vietnam is a fool or a traitor or an enemy of our soldiers.
That's what they were calling him at the time.
Is a person who has taken a stand against the best
and the white one
in our tradition. Many persons have questioned me about the wisdom of my path. Why are you speaking about the war, Dr. King?
This is them criticizing.
Why are you joining the voices of dissent. Peace and civil rights don't mix, they say.
They say. And the only reason that they say that is because Lyndon Johnson told them to say that. All right, you'll go back to the time. If you have not done your homework, you don't know the history. Lyndon Johnson had the Vietnam War going. He's making lots of money with he and his crony friends. The same way with every war from every allied nation, all the prime ministers and the presidents. He told the black leaders, listen, y'all need to sit on Dr. King. You need to sit on him because he's opposing my crony war over here. You need to sit on that. We'll do something for you, but you got to shut him up. And then they shut him up. All right. FBI released files. You had the Klan and the civil rights leaders who are still alive today working together. And you got that brother who stood out the way. Remember, he was on the stage speaking. What's that man's name? The dark-skinned brother. He was on the stage speaking. He slipped up, and who was the only one? The only one I appreciate is Dick Gregory. I like Dick Gregory. I appreciate. He rough. He rough around the corners. He damn sure rough on them edges. He rough on white people. But he was the only one who just kept running checks. He always went after things he thought was true. He was the one. He caught that man in that speech, and he played the video again where he's like, yeah, well. Something about, and then when Dr. King got shot, we knew it was something about coming. We had to get out the way. Whatever the hell he said. Somebody posted a link. But this is what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about. If you are for rights, you are for all rights, including a right to life, human rights, everywhere, all over, not certain ones, all of them. And if you know how the world works, you know this is going to take everybody together to do it, right?
And so this morning I speak to you on this issue because I'm determined to take the gospel seriously.
Taking it seriously, not playing. Not playing. Now, you know what? And I do speak harsh. No. It might be received harsh. It's not coming from a harsh place, right? I was fooled. We're all fooled. We all get played. It is a sign of intelligence to realize when the people who are leading you to a cliff, all right? When you know that they're leading you to a cliff, you need to go the other way, right? When you know that you're being played, you need to go the other way. When you realize that everything gets co-opted, right? Antifa, Black Lives Matter, White Lives, Blue Lives, Civil Rights Movement, Women's Movement, all the movements, they're always, they all get co-opted. Anything once it develops a blind following, it gets broken. That's just how this world works. The other thing I was going to say on this, talking about chastising government. How do you know that you were loved as a child? How do you know? You know you were loved as a child because your parent gave you attention, right? How do you know the people who actually love their government? How do you know the people who actually are trying to make a better, evolve their government? The people who treat their government like their child, they spank it, right? They chastise it. They don't always jump and cheer. But what happens to a child if you always cheer? It becomes a spoiled brat, and it will blow the house up or burn it down. Same thing with a government. You keep cheering that government, you don't question it, it's going to burn the entire world down. And look, isn't that what we're doing? We're burning the entire world. You have to chastise your government. You only chastise government that you love. You only spank political parties that you give a damn about. If you ain't spanking it, your own political party is out there blowing up people, little babies that can't defend themselves, something's wrong with you, right? The soldiers been telling you, they've been doing their job. You just need to support the veterans and listen to them. That's how you support the troops.
There is at the outset a very obvious and almost facile connection between the war in Vietnam and the struggle I and others have been waging in America. A few years ago, there was a shining moment in that struggle. It seemed as if there was a real promise of hope for the poor, both black and white, through the poverty program. Then came the build-up in Vietnam, and I watched the program broken as if it was some idle political plaything of a society gone mad on war. And I knew that America would never invest the necessary funds or energies in rehabilitation of its poor so long as adventures like Vietnam continued to draw men and skills and money like some demonic, destructive suction tube.
Or like a corporation governing like it's a government, but it's not really a government, it's a corporation that is for profit and is owned internationally. And the only means there is to keep the people entertained, to keep them fooled, and to make as much money as it can with the war industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the chemical industry, to just do whatever makes profit.
And you may not know it, my friends, but it is estimated that we spend $500,000.
This is it right here.
To kill each enemy soldier.
500,000.
While we spend only $53.
53 on the American.
For each person classified as poor. And much of that $53 goes for salaries to people who are not poor.
All right, I'm done with that. I want you to watch the whole thing. It's not Martin Luther King's birthday, but I like to play the videos because a lot of people have no idea who this man was, and they get out there yelling and screaming. They don't listen to the speeches, right? If you want to help brown people, play staying in the streets. I mean, like I said, I'm not chastising. Y'all do what you feel that you need to. But if you want to help poor people, you're buying up land. All right, you're buying up land and you're growing food. That's what you're doing. You're buying up land, you're giving places to live. If you want to help poor people, you aren't getting behind to go vote. You're not out there behind Republicans or Democrats. You're making sure that we have a long-term engagement that we can sustain. People need freedom, they need food, they need clean water, and they need to outlast whatever's coming, right? And the only way we're going to do that is by giving back the land. Your government gave two damns about you, they give you the land back and they give you the water back. They're not, because they don't own it and they're a corporation. The corporation owns it and they're not going to share. The only way we take it back is we can withstand the logistics of a long-term engagement to say no, to say hell no. We can feed our people, we can take care of our people, we can house our people. You can go to hell. Your system can collapse. You don't have to fight a system. We talk about this all the time here when we do these long, lengthy discussions that I'm about to end. You don't have to fight a system. All you gotta do is walk away. And there are three choices that they give us. The billionaire, trillionaire families that own all the NATO allies. They give us three choices. One, you can continue on doing what you've been doing, be a slave, be owned, collude in all their activity, murdering people all over this planet, fighting other poor people. Two, you can fight a bloody revolution and you're gonna lose, which I agree with Ty. The drones, if you've seen the mini drones, they're gonna kill you, and it's gonna be sadly funny. It's gonna be so sad, it's gonna be funny the way they kill you. When you see these little Toys R Us toy drones come out the sky, and they just got these M80 things, M80 firecrackers that blow up on the side of your head, and it's only gonna cost them $4 or $5 worth of a drone and a firecracker to kill you. Or three, you just walk away. Those are the only choices. The only choices that the billionaires and these trillionaire families that own your country give you. You can fight and die. You can collude and be a slave and continue to do that, fighting other people ain't got nothing to do with it, being bit by a dog, kicking a cat. Or you can just walk away. But the only way to walk away is we got to take the poor folks with us. And this is why, like I said, I try to be careful with not sounding like I'm chastising poor folks, because if I were them, I would be them. If I were born in the time of slavery, I would be, what was his name? The one y'all keep knocking the statues down, Robert E. Lee. Please do your homework. Please research who that man was. I would be him because I was him. I was born into a privileged family. I took on a job. In my 20s, I became a manager, and I realized this is a bad idea, and I walked away. He walked away from his slaves and slave plantation, was it 2-3 years before the war even started? Before the people in the North, before the generals who fought to come save you. Right? He was one of the most progressive people at the time. He wasn't for the South or the North. He just happened to be in the South, and he knew how to fight. But this is why they send you to target him. And they send you to target his statues, because they know that you won't actually look the history up. They know that if they can get you to turn on the people who were most progressive at the time, they can fool you anywhere. If they can get you to cheer the people who are saying F Trump, and these are the people who wrote the crime bill that took away your lives from mattering, all the poor people, there's no hope for you. There's no hope for you, right? You have to be able to critically think. And so I'm gonna look at comments. I'm gonna wrap it up. The whole point was with that is you got to do your own research, right? You got to be your own self. You have to stop being led. You don't need to be led. You are an amazing creature, right? You have to think and critically think for yourself. I'm doing the best I can, right? The best way that I can. Now, I can't go out there and buy a bunch of land and feed a bunch of people, but I can do what I can with what I got, and I'm doing what I can with what I got. Why? Because we got to take the poor folks with us. We did the people in the trailer parks and the ghettos and the barrios. They will be building killer robots to kill us if we ain't careful. You know why? Because that's what they're supposed to do, right? We say, oh no, I live in the suburbs. I'll be fine. I've got my guns and food. And okay, well, you think the poor people gonna sit in the ghetto and just starve? No, government will go out there and say, listen, I got a job for you. Come on in here and make these killer robots. Come on in here and make RoboCop. And they're gonna send RoboCop out there to kill you. That's how this works. They always turn us against each other at every single turn, and they're genius at it. You know, the war in Rwanda, the genocide in Rwanda. Those colonizers do this all over the world. They all got together a long time ago and just decided how you steal a people's resource, how you steal their land and their water. All you got to do is divide them. Give them pride in their self. They'll turn on each other, and after they finish killing each other, we'll kill who's ever left, or just enslaving whoever's left. And that's just how that works out. It's ugly, but it's true. All right? It's ugly, but it's true. You know, you find yourself backing the people who flew the drugs in Mena, Arkansas, and wrote the crime bill, and started putting millions of your kids in prison and shooting them dead in the street, making every life not matter. And those people are clapping for you when you say Black Lives Matter. You know you're being played. All right? But we all get played. It's just some of us admit it and some of us don't. Genius, evil one who invented it. Yeah, whoever invented the system, Christine, is a genius. People say, oh, why you hate the government? I don't hate the government. Number one, I don't have one. I mean, I got one at the state level, but they're bribed. And at the federal level, it's called America. It's a republic. I'm going to do my best to join them. I'm not with them yet. You got to become a sovereign citizen to do that and get away from the United States Incorporated. So I'm still looking at how to do that, reclaiming my birth certificate. I don't hate the government. This is not a war. I'm not at war with them. The majority of people in your land consent to being a commodity for a corporation. Good for that corporation. Good for them. Good for them. United States Incorporated. It actually means that they're right. I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong all day long. They're right. Most people consent to the war. They consent to genocide and killing all the brown people that they can find in Yemen, assuming any of them are left. But then they get a tizzy fit when one brown dude dies over here. That's that American apathy, that American indifference. Speak up, Chris Lewis. I tried to, and I appreciate your picture. Did y'all see Chris Lewis? Chris, you crazy as hell. Did y'all see Chris Lewis? Oh my God, I don't even know. All I know is I went to his page. I saw Chris Lewis out there in Philly, and he had both of his birds up. There's like 50 police behind him on bikes and tanks and cars and lights flashing. I'm like, Chris, dude, you're gonna die, man. What you know? Like, Chris, you crazy. Oh, he crazy as hell. I love that brother to death. He crazy as hell. I don't even know. I don't need Chris. Somebody need to take his phone and his car and his shoes. Somebody, Chris, because you know, I know Chris, he you know, because that's his tagline. He's passionate about people, and he is. Oh, he is, apparently. Okay, Tony Smith, he is too. He a problem too. Somebody need to take all his guns. Put him somewhere. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, but the right and left, you're gonna need each other. You're gonna take on this state. You're gonna need to feed each other and defend each other, because these billionaires ain't playing, and it's enough poor people in your country, in ghettos, barrios, and immigrants too, that they will turn against you and make them killer robots. Woo, those master muzzles, yes they are, Christine. I mean, Sandra, I don't know why anybody's wearing that nonsense anymore. I think we've healed this. They skipped the murder hornets. Oh, they got murder hornets in my neighborhood. By the way, the hornet I found is a murder hornet. I was excited. I posted the picture on my page. I was like, I got the murder hornets, yay! I didn't miss the murder hornets, y'all did. My neighbor caught a couple. I'm ready for an asteroid, actually, because it looks like the zombies ain't gonna walk, so maybe the asteroid will be next. Anything to get people to agree with the military police state, like, we need to put RoboCop on the street to protect you from the asteroid. And everybody, like, yes, protect us. There's a special place in whatever the hell may be for LBJ. Yeah, Enoch, but you know what, Enoch? I have to say that, like I said, I realize if I were anybody, I would be the body, right? If I were LBJ, I'd be him. And what stops me is listening to, oh gosh, is Facebook, y'all still throwing people in jail for saying honest, truthful things, is trying to save people, unite people, and like help people? Are y'all still doing that? Or did Trump in his 100-day bill, did that stop? He did the executive order. Tony, have you been to jail lately? Or Chris? Or Ty, anybody? I haven't. I'm not even getting a warning. So I think Facebook might be on our side. Facebook didn't finally decide, you know what, we're going to stop because they're going to start suing us. I don't know. No, but what changed my mind on that, Enoch, was listening to the interview of the brother from the USS Liberty, right? And he was just like, yeah, you have to understand the psychology of LBJ, right? He was behind JFK's car. And for you to have your head blown off and know that the people that blew, well, for you to see your friend or your president's head blown off right in front of you, and to see and know that the people who did that are in the White House, the people who did that are in the Secret Service, the people who did that were covered up and they blamed it on a patsy. His point was LBJ would do exactly what he was told to do, which is what he did. But that's my problem with the civil rights movement there too. Is that, so I don't know if I were LBJ, I'd be him, but in the civil rights movement, it was a movement. Things moved. That's it. And there was no mints. They didn't hand out any mints. No, it was no mints, Enoch. It was like they moved some things, but they didn't move enough. They didn't move enough because they killed the people who were talking about uniting everybody and actually fixing the problems in the country. Another good solution was, what's his name? Dr. Pepper? What's his name? Dr. Pepper? William, was his name William Pepper? The dude who shot, or the patsy who shot at Martin Luther King when the sniper team actually killed him, defended the lawyer, Dr. Pepper. He told you what Martin Luther King was up to. Martin Luther King was actually up to a constitutional convention, right? He realized that we don't have a government, or they're not doing what they're supposed to do, which is where you suspend the federal government, you get all states together, and you delete amendments and create new ones, right? Those are some real solutions. Out in the street yelling and screaming, that's not a solution. It's fun, it's interesting, you are definitely calling attention to issues, but if people don't actually talk about the root cause problems, ain't nothing gonna change. The way forward is to create win-win situations, microeconomies. Absolutely, Kim, and that's what wins, is microeconomies, building up communities, buying local, not banning white businesses, preferring a business somebody's got your skin color. No, if they're local and it's handmade and people is directly in your neighborhood will benefit from it, then you should buy that. And if that's all black, then great. If that's black and white, then great. It's black, white, Chinese, Indian, and that's what you need to do. But your direct security is the local businesses around you. You want to buy and sell to your neighbors, period. Do not be fooled. Do not, once again, do not boycott white business. That's the dumbest thing I never heard. Dumbest thing. If you get bit by the dog, do not kick the cat, because cats crazy as hell and they're gonna act up. And besides, I'm gonna tell you, I know a lot of black business owners. I do. They're gonna spend that money with white businesses anyway. I know the philosophy and the theories, because while we tried this, how many times they do this? Say, yeah, buy from black businesses, and it uses the black business owners. Like, no, they're gonna go buy a Ferrari, and black people don't make Ferraris, y'all. They're just gonna buy a bigger house and move out the ghetto. They're not gonna do nothing for you. They're not. The only people that do things for you is people you're gonna do things for. And you got a whole bunch of people on the right, like, look, I need my land, I need my freedom, I don't own this land, I need this bank off my property, I wanna be free. We may not agree on lifestyles, but they definitely want to be free too. But you gotta talk across the aisle, and the only way, and this is how I know at the highest levels, it's all co-opted. Because they have you attacking Donald Trump. That's why. And that's the only emotional thing that pisses the right off, which means that they won't talk to you. And that's how they stifle you and they keep you where you are. Facebook's deleting VC Bezos' essay on Hillary Clinton in China. Is that right, Kentucky Fried Mom? Well, I think she's going, isn't she going? So she's going to the hearing. I think it's in September. But that's about Benghazi, right? Somebody said, and then the only reason, how do you know that? Because I don't piss the right off. I think they're crazy. But I don't piss them off. I think the left is crazy too, I think you got the right wing of the bird and the left wing of the bird, and it's a dodo bird, it's a cuckoo bird, but I don't piss them off. And they were posting about, it's about Benghazi. She's going to trial in September. Or hearing, that's what I heard. Love his speeches. Yeah, Enoch. Well, Martin Luther King, people love Martin Luther King and they love his quotes that fit their current narrative. They do not like the actual full flavor of what he says. The full flavor of what he says is that you can't fight for brown people here and not be fighting for white people. You're going to lose everything. You're going to fail. It means at the moral level, you are bankrupt. And somehow they made that a popular movement. Boggles my mind, the things that people believe in. I have heard that King was a communist and that he didn't even have a degree, that he was a puppet, but the puppet did his job. But that puppet did his job way too well, where they could not control King anymore. Oh, okay. Which could be true. So he had to go. Is that right, Daniel? That could be true. That could be true. I think that people at their core are people, right? And I know this, Daniel. I was a puppet. I was raised to be a puppet. I went to school, higher education, got a job, became a manager. I was totally a puppet until I discovered myself and I turned on the system. Ain't nothing wrong with getting played. Ain't nothing wrong with being played. As long as you play the self game. When you discover self, that you stand up for everybody, you stand up for your true self and everybody else's true self, is all good to go. But also, Daniel, there was that whole FBI thing. If you ever go out to FBI.gov, you can look up the files I got on Martin Luther King. Well, most of you, 5% of them are still classified, where you can see that, they were trying to make him out to be the communist. They try to make me a communist, Daniel. I just say feed the people. That people need land and ecosystem. That's communism. No, it's called ecosystemism. It's called baby humans are born on the planet and they need water and they need land. If you take the water and the land, it just means you're trying to make a slave. You're taking what they need to thrive because you want a forced labor tax plantation called an economy. So that's communism. No, that's just called, it's a human and it needs food. Okay? And it can take care of itself, right? So my interest is, I have no problem with corporations. I have no problem with corporations. I have no problem with governments. I have no problem with systems, but they're not biological. They don't need ecosystems. They don't need water. They don't need land. We at our core are human beings. That's our race. We have to look out for each other. And as long as we got what we need, I don't care what they do. My place, Daniel, is I say, you know what? Well, if you're born in the land, then you should own land, right? Or you should have land. Let's say it that way. I believe in stewardship. And I think every human being born in this land should already have its plot. If you broke up America, that's 16 acres per person. So if you're a family of 4, you got a decent plot. That's what human beings need to survive. All the corporations, they can rent, they can all rent if they want, but limited, like 16 acres per person, period, readjust every 10 years or so, or every generation. But you can only own 16 acres. So you can't sell it, nobody can buy it, right? So at the default, you always got the ability to go home if things don't work out in the city. Things don't work out with that woman that's married to that guy, or whatever it is, you got a place to go where you can grow some food. We got robots that can grow the food now. We have drones where you can sit on your land, have some food, water, and freedom. So you don't have to act a fool, right? Because they always play us, and how they play us is through economies. They're never equal. So anyway, and to me, that's not communism. It's just called being a human. Good morning, Rose. Everybody's emotions on both sides are valid. Their tactics, however, are different matter. Exactly, Ty. Everybody's experiences and emotions are valid. This is why I love Ty, because Ty speaks about things from the principal perspective. When you just think about everybody's experience is real. And that's what most fights are about. They're emotional. It's about you emotionally saying to somebody else that their experiences in life aren't really real. And that's I can't play with it. I had a good friend who died last week. One of my childhood friends, poor white dude, right? He fought against American privilege his whole life. He died a poor white dude. He lived as a poor white dude. His father wasn't around, and so I can't not tell his story. I can't not tell a person's story because you're saying I shouldn't because you don't like their skin color. You're brainwashed, right? And that is a trap. Hey, Brett, good morning. Good morning, Patricia, Christine, Jeannie. My son's girlfriend, her family knows the kid that was shot for carrying a hammer in Valhalla by cops. They thought the hammer was a gun. Well, Jeannie, and I have and I'm sorry to hear that. My belief on cops, Jeannie, is I don't think they need to be retrained. I don't think there's anything wrong with the cops. I think there's something wrong with the laws. And I think if you actually have a nation that needs this many police, you obviously don't have a nation. You have a slave plantation, and somebody's writing a whole lot of laws that the people don't want. That's the only purpose cops are. The only reason cops are armed is because the people don't want the laws. Right? When the people want the laws, you don't need a whole bunch of cops and laws. You don't have police. You know what they used to be called, Jeannie? They were called lawman, not lawmen. Lawman. You come to town, there's one of them. He had a badge, a gun, and might have had a horse. Bad horse with bad legs, because they barely needed the man. He sat around his desk all day. They didn't need him because they didn't have a bunch of laws. Lawman. The minute lawman became lawmen, women, children, and a police force, at that point you should realize that you actually have no say in your government. They're literally writing laws, creating, industrializing the problems. You go to them and cry, Black lives aren't mattering. So they write some laws to make sure that there are groups fighting for Black lives to matter, which means that now you create an economic engine to make sure that Black lives never matter because these people need to retire. And that's what Soros did with Black Lives Matter. Gave him $100 million. He made an industry out of Black Lives not mattering. That's what I meant when I said racism is an industry.
I thought you was talking about white people.
No, I'm talking about all the people who need money and because they ain't got no land, ain't got no water, and it's just they industrialize the problem. The legislators been doing that since the very beginning. Very beginning. They take the ills of society and they make an industry out of the problem. And you put this whole economic engine behind not solving the problem. It actually is very simple when you think about it. It's genius, but it's horribly dark and evil. Good morning, Josh. Let me see. Good morning, Christ. The only way to win their game is by not playing. You fight and they win. Thank you, Christ. Christ said something. See, this is why they call her Christ. It'd take me 3 hours to say what Christ just said in 6 words. If you fight it, they already won. That's really how that works. If you fight it, especially if you use violence, they already know that. That's their system. Anyone who needs a leader doesn't deserve to have one. Ooh, gone, Ty. You just did Ty don't pull no punches. Which is very true. It's very true. If you're not grown enough to lead your own self, I do not know what you're doing. Exactly. A lovely world despite the schizophrenic world that surrounds us. Well, Rebecca, that's the beautiful thing is we can flip the script any day we want. We can change things at any time we want. It's all up to us. Did y'all hear about the monkeys that stole the cuckoo virus test things? What the hell is that about? I don't watch the news. Somebody posted something earlier today. It's like, what's the monkeys that stole the cuckoo virus? Ran out in India, something like that. See, to me, that's news. That's new. Something new happened. I don't like the old. I like the new. The stuff with Rwanda and these colonizers and Babylon and Roman and the Caesars. This stuff don't never change. It's always the same damn thing. I get tired of saying it, but I'm like, you know what? I have an obligation to. There's kids on this planet. Y'all need to take your money and your currency systems and shove them up your butt because these kids got to live here. Hey, Norma. Good morning, Susie. Hey, Rachel, as a child, I used to run from the popo, but I don't want my kids to have to run from the popo. We got to make some changes now. Jack Hall said, love that Chris Lewis. I know, I love him to death. He crazy as hell, Jack. Don't do nothing that he does. Love that man to death. Don't do nothing that he does. That man is crazy. Yeah, but he got a reason to fight. Once again, Chris Lewis's experience is real. Now, would I go to Philly? No, I ain't been to Philly. I avoid Philly at every chance I get. I avoid New York, Chicago, DC, every city, every chance I get. But would I go to Philly and jump in front of the cops as they got a parade of a couple hundred cops coming through to get a picture of me? No, that's not gonna happen. You'll never see me doing that. And if you see me doing it, it's a Photoshop. But that man's experiences are real. He's been through some systems and some institutions, and he's got to fight the way he feels he needs to fight, and that's what he's doing. But I enjoyed the picture. I think everybody's kind of doing what they're supposed to be doing. The only thing I focus on is me, what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me see, by not playing their games has brought us to where we are now. Pandemic, police violence, oppression, poor people, corrupt government. Thank you, Rose Wade. Very simple. If what we're doing is working and you think it's working, keep on doing it. If protesting and marching and some Sharpie signs, if the world's looking the way you want and you're heading in the right direction, then you keep doing that. It's like, yeah, things are getting better is what they like to say, Rose. I said, no, that's not really what's happening, but okay, I know you believe what's in your history books. In reality, all we're doing is pushing the oppression to places that we can't see. We just push that darkness into Africa and the Middle East and places that nobody gives a damn about, Latin America. And then the president calls them S-hole countries, and he's right, because we made him that way. He's absolutely right. And then people get mad at him. I'm like, no, maybe you shouldn't be mad at him. Maybe you should be mad at the idea that things are getting better for you, in your country, in your land, for you, and not for everybody else that you're robbing for currency and blood minerals. Absolutely, totally agree. Hey, Rachel, good morning. About to get out of here. Good morning, Susan, Jewel, Tony Smith in the house. Standing together is lovely. To look at building a different existence isn't necessarily pretty. But that is what is essential for actual change. Yes, a paradigm shift. That's what I'm for, Rebecca. I'm for a paradigm shift. I'm not for doing any more of the same stuff, expecting a different. What is that saying? To keep doing the same thing and expect a different result? Nah, I'm not for that. Don't waste my time. Go waste other people's time. I'm not interested in that at all. We need a paradigm shift, and we got the technology for it. Either killer robots gonna grow our food, build our houses, take care of people, and make sure we ain't got no poor people no more, or they're gonna become the police state and they're gonna shoot us because people have a problem with the police and not the laws. All right. That's what's revolutionary. What's revolutionary? Christ is doing something different. Amen. Totally agree. Crazies are the new norm, for real. It is, Enoch. We in crazy times. This is the new norm. Some days I don't want to get up and look at it's always something crazy going on. Tony came in right when you said his name, didn't he? Well, that's how that works. It's a spirituality thing, Riley. Sorry, Tony's late. G talking shite. That's what G does, Tony. That's all I do. But that's it. I don't do nothing else. People say, why you always making controversial posts? Because I got a lot of new friends because people out there fighting in the streets. Why your posts always controversial? Maybe they're not controversial. Maybe that's not what's going on. Maybe I question everything. Maybe you believe the bullshizzle and I don't believe anybody. Maybe I question everything at every angle and question myself, and I don't have leaders. You know, it'll make you crazy. The people like, you're always controversial. No, I just contra the versy. When somebody puts some versy out on the news, like, listen, this is the versy, it's the cure, we need to do this. I have to question it. So I got to be a con to the versy. I don't want to get versy. It sounds like an STD or something that you get from that cuckoo virus from the Wuhan lab. Hey, Patricia Hauser, bring on the aliens. I'm ready for them too, but I don't think nobody's coming to save us. Good morning, Vicky. Vicky Thomas is in the house. Haven't been to jail for 2 weeks, but my cast still get cut. Well, you know what, Tony? Yeah, they're not gonna stop the shadow banning, but I have not been to prison. So everybody go ahead and say it very slow and together now. Thank you, Donald Trump. I think it's funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. I just think it's weird that adults think that people are either all evil or all good. No, it's always a recipe of nonsense, you know, to me. But that thing was good. The idea that you can sue these companies, that might actually help more voices to come out. No such thing as hate speech. All there is banning speech. And you know what the problem I have with this word hate speech? I was thinking about, who was it, Rogan or somebody this weekend. Yeah, the thing about hate speech is when you call everything hate speech, it means you got people calling other people doo-doo heads and you call it hate speech. Then the real hate speakers aren't like in the public domain, they're silenced and they're grouped up with other people. And so now you have very dangerous, perhaps potential people that we need to cure or heal or help or do something with, hiding in the population of other people calling people dookie heads and doo-doo heads and silly stuff, cussing or whatever that they do. And to me, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's as dumb as white privilege. That's as dumb as this idea that we need to blame all white people for something that the people that we love in leadership did with them. Did with the 0.01%. You know, these billionaires and trillionaire families are slick. They know how to hide in populations. They hide in populations. That's why I appreciate the fact that he's saying that we can sue him, right? Once again, if the dog bites you, don't kick the cat. Dog bite, that should have been the name of this post. If the dog bit you, stop looking for the cat to kick the cat. You just kicking the cat because it's easier to find, lit down the street, and the liberal universities told them that they're supposed to shut up unless they allies and got 17 points. It boggles my mind, the stuff that we go for. Anyway, We need to stop being consumers that will take their power away. Kerry Williams, you go on and tell that truth, which is the truth. We work for the oppressors, we buy from the oppressors, we clap for the oppressors, we vote for the oppressors, and we put their bumper stickers on our back of our cars and in our street on our signs, and we say we fighting oppression. Not fighting oppression, no. Got to walk away. The only way to be strong is go learn to do things on yourself, become sustainable. As much as possible, I know a lot of people live in the cities. Just do what you can to get as far from the system. Stop buying, and especially not from no damn Amazon. Good morning, Gabrielle. Take a look at that. Jail to silence us is tyranny. It absolutely is, Jack. But it was a good thing that they did it, because it means that we're saying things that we wouldn't even know we're supposed to be talking about if we didn't have Facebook jail. The fact that I went to jail so much on Veterans Day talking about the USS Liberty tells me I need to tell everybody about the USS Liberty. We're all in this together. We are slowly getting back to the power. Jack, I think so. I think these are good days. I think that we're going in the right direction, and I think some beautiful things are going to happen. I do. I think people are going to figure it out. I think the passion is there. The education is not, but the passion is. And I think one day people are going to realize it. Part of me thinks that they don't have the National Guard really doing anything yet, because it's going to wake people up. I think they realize that Americans are like what we say about the Japanese back then. The Japanese said about us that the general said, I'm afraid that all we've done after Pearl Harbor was we awoke a sleeping bear. Oh, Americans are bear. Don't get it wrong. We silly, we dramatic, we're emotional, we're tribal, we're all of those things too. We're a good entertainment system for the rest of the world and possibly the solar system. But Americans, you do not want to get them together. Bad things will happen for whoever get them together again. If you piss off the left and the right finally, instead of playing them against each other in your little games, Americans are like a grizzly bear. I'm trying to tell you, I live with these people. I'm gonna let you know. These people, together they scary. Apart they stupid, but but they get together, and that's why I think they haven't done the martial law yet. I think they want to, but I think that you have teams and think tanks and strategists getting together, because once again, this is not checkers, it's chess, and they're really thinking about the imagery of having the National Guard shooting at Americans. I don't think the veterans are going to go for it. I don't think that the right's going to stand by. I think if they did that, the right would finally say, you know what, this ain't what we're doing. This is not what we're for. I realize if they come for them, they're going to come for me next. Maybe this is what we're looking for. You got a lot of people ready for that. And to me, I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. Like, did y'all see that video of the National Guard doing electric slide with the protesters? That is a protest. I like that. If y'all just promise me that we're gonna be dancing with the National Guard on TV, then I might show up for a minute and I got to go. But that really is like that showing that they're just our kids. That's all they are. They're young people. Like Martin Luther King told you about. They're just young people. They want to stand up for their nation. And I think that's their hesitation, because they're not sure what's gonna happen if you get American soldiers up there and they know this is my grandmother, my uncle, my cousins. They don't know. See, I think the difference between now and the Civil War is now people got the internet and they know that they're being played and they know the data, right? Back in the Civil War, you could get a brother to fight a brother because they had no idea what war the brother was in. I know he's in the South, I'm in the North, but he was in Alabama and I'm over here, so I'm probably not shooting at him. But they found out they were shooting at each other. I don't think that they can make that happen today. I think people are very tribal as long as nobody's dying. Like, the reality is you got good people on the left and the right. And they're humans and they're sympathetic. And we got this thing, when we see people being hurt, it engages our empathy, you know? So I think they're just testing and waiting. Like the 75-year-old guy, man, I can't even talk about that. I can't even talk. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. I just that's actually a really bad example. I think they look at that and they determine how apathetic do we have people. Like, it pisses me. Yeah, I do want to mention it, but the 75-year-old guy that the police pushed down, right? That could be it. That could be it. Come on, people. The fact that people would clap for the police who did that. No, that's not what you do, y'all. That's the wrong look. I know I've been chastising the left probably since this started. If that was the right, I don't know who that is. I mean, maybe it was the family that was out there, and even if it's the family, if my brother pushed down a 75-year-old man that could barely walk, I would not be clapping for him. I'd be calling him stupid and ignorant and all the things that I need to. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, no, that was assault. That was 100% assault. That's not something that's behooving anybody anywhere. These are our elders. Our elders are supposed to tell us what you know what. We are definitely losing a sense of ourselves, but I think that's why they haven't pulled the trigger on the National Guard. I think they're trying to determine if they have enough apathetic people who don't give two damns about anything but themselves to do it. I guarantee you, if that was any of their parents or grandparents that got pushed down like that, I promise you they would not be in that cloud clapping for the police. Who clapped? Kentucky Fried Mama, I don't know who they are. Somebody else would post it. I really don't watch this stuff too closely. But it was a crowd of people when the police came out. I think they got the assault charge. But when they came out, people were clapping for the police who pushed the 75-year-old man down. Like, that's not what you do, right? You're supposed to say, no, that's wrong. I support you. I don't think you should go to jail. But what you did was wrong. I'm not going to clap for you. You don't abuse old people. You don't abuse children. You don't abuse women. You don't abuse anybody that's weaker than you. That's not the role of anyone protecting and serving. Was that old man wrong? I don't know. But you know what? Largely, it's not my place to tell older folks that they're wrong. For the most part, when you are significantly at an age that you've seen a lot of things on this planet, they could have just walked around him. He wasn't doing. What's the guy gonna do? He gonna burn the building down? Come on, the guy could barely walk. All they had to do was walk around him. See, you don't embrace when you see psychopathic activity, you don't cheer it. Never. You chastise it. Same thing you do with your government. When you see wrong, you say that it's wrong. And that's how we know that you have integrity. Right? But if you pick and choose battles because you don't like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the protest, and you show us that you're a psychopath too, then you need to go sit on a table somewhere or on a sofa and talk to somebody about what the hell's happening in your brain. You got some genes that are flipped that need to get flipped back. You got those 27 warrior genes active. You know, abuse is abuse is abuse is abuse. Death and murder and death and murder is death and murder. Right? If you put your disaster capital, tribalism, your side over doing the things that all of our grandparents told us we all supposed to be doing, there's something wrong with you. All right, let me do the last couple comments. I gotta go. We're slowly getting back to the power. I think so, Brother Jack. I think that we can use this to make something beautiful. We just got to keep going. Ty said it's a trap. Ty, you know, it's always a trap. It's always a trap. If you know what, if it's on TV, if it's on news, the Fox, CNN, CBS, NBC, all the billionaires news, it's always a trap. It's a guaranteed. If it's popular, it's always a trap. The right things to do, like Martin Luther King, JFK, Malcolm X, and Fred Hampton, when you finally figure out in the end that unity is the only way out of this, and the Rwandan king, they kill him. That's how you know you're doing the right thing. You look at people who the system, if a system is oppressing you, then look at who the people that system killed were. Those are the people you need to listen to, because those are the people who figured it out. All the ones that are part of the system, like, get out there and go vote now. Those are the sellouts like that are always setting you up for a trap. Right? They're flying the crack cocaine in while they're writing the crime bill because they know they're going to get a great retirement from it. And then they create a group called Black Lives Matter, you know. But a lot of good people in Black Lives Matter. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just be leery of attaching your identity to a struggle or a movement or a corporation or a group. Because at the end of the day, a corporation has only one purpose, and that's profit, to survive. The minute you make it a corporation, its main goal is to create power and to create riches. And that's it. Its goal isn't you anymore. So anyway, Gerard, I get going. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. If you really process what's going on, you do understand that the reason why people are protesting is they're not free. We can be free, but you know, we gotta act like we want to be free. You gotta actually look at what the problem is and come up with a real solution that will solve that problem. And don't get behind nobody. Don't get behind me. Don't get behind Jack, Patricia, Jeannie, Gabrielle, Rebecca, Riley, Ty, anybody. Kentucky Fried Mom, don't get behind nobody. You get behind yourself. You're a self. You can figure things out for yourself. Utilize critical thought. Look at the actual problem. Look at history. Read the law. And you come up with a good solution. And you tell the people who want to lead you what they're supposed to be doing. Don't you dare let nobody tell you what to be doing. All right. Gerard, gotta go. Love y'all to death. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Y'all have a wonderful Monday.
We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? Do you want a free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you want a free, boom, boom, free the people?